On 22 March 2024, around 8 pm, shortly before the Russian band Picnic was scheduled to play a show at the Crocus City Hall music venue in Moscow, Russia, four gunmen carried out a mass shooting as well as slashing attacks on the people gathered at the venue and used different devices to set the venue on fire. Investigators said the attack had killed 144 people and more than 360 people were injured by gunshot wounds and poisoning related to the fire. While this attack was happening, a part-time check room assistant, 15-year-old Islam Khalilov, reportedly helped save more than 100 people by showing them an exit through the venue's office space. He was assisted by three of his co-workers. Shortly after the attack, Islamic State Khorasan province claimed responsibility for the attack via telegram by the IS-affiliated Amak news agency. President of Russia Vladimir Putin blames an Islamist attack on Ukraine and America. Surprisingly, the United States Embassy in Moscow warned that extremists have imminent plans to target large gatherings in Moscow, to include concerts, and advised US citizens to avoid large gatherings over the next 48 hours, to avoid crowds, to stay updated by monitoring local media, and to maintain awareness of surroundings. Now let's take a look at who is Islamic State Khorasan province. The Islamic State Khorasan province is a regional branch of the Salafi jihadist group Islamic State, active in South Central Asia, primarily Afghanistan and Pakistan. ISIS Khorasan seeks to destabilize and replace current governments within historic Khorasan region with the goal of establishing a caliphate across South and Central Asia, which they plan to expand beyond the region. ISIS Khorasan is responsible for numerous of attacks targeting civilians in Afghanistan and Pakistan, predominantly against Shia Muslims, the Hazara community, and government employees. When we look at the Islamic State opponent list, we get to know that almost every other country is on their opponent list. And a surprising fact is that Hezbollah, Yemeni Houthis, and Hamas are also their opponents. And now what we must need to understand is that the IS is always silent about the Israel and Gaza issue. They are never so vocal about that. They always criticize Iran, Hamas, but we never had seen them doing the same with Israeli government and United States. The main thing that is confusing here is that ISIS is attacking Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkey, Russia, and other countries, but they are never vocal about Israel and Gaza war. I'm not saying that they should attack Israel or they should kill innocent people, but the problem here is that why they are silent about the Palestinian issue. They claim that they are Muslims and they follow Islam, but when we look at the attacks carried out by ISIS, we get to know that around 80% of the attacks were carried out in Islamic countries, and Muslims were the one who were affected by those attacks. The ISIS is claiming that Russia is destroying mosques and they are against Islam. That is the reason they are attacking Russia. But when we take a look at what is happening in Gaza, the situation is almost 180 degrees and the ISIS is silent about the Palestinians. What we need to understand is that who are the beneficiary of the attack? Is it Russian government? Because after the attacks, the Russian government is now playing a victim card against Ukraine. They are saying that Ukraine was involved in this attack. In near future, they are going to do military operations in Ukraine by playing this victim card. And on the other side, Donald Trump said that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama was the one who created ISIS. In the reality, ISIS has nothing to do with Islam. In reality, they are killing Muslims and they are killing innocent people in Russia or other countries. We must need to understand that those who are getting benefits from the attacks are not the Muslims. Then who they are? Did United States really created ISIS? We must need to understand that those who are getting benefits from the attacks are not the civilians. It is the propaganda of the politicians. Whenever a war happens, civilians die. Normal people like you and me, we are the one who suffer the most, whether you are Muslim or whether you are non-Muslim. But the politicians and those who hold the power never have to face those problems. My condolences is with the families of the victims of Russia attack and with the Ukrainian citizens who are being killed by Russian army and the Russian innocent people who are being killed by Ukrainian army and with the innocent Palestinians who are being killed in Gaza and with the Israeli innocent citizens who are also facing issues because of this war. We must need to stand for the good and for the right, whether it's against our own self or our own country. And with this message and hope that no one associate Islam with terrorism, any religion with terrorism, or any group of people, a country with terrorism. It should be associated with the political leaders and the head of the states who make policies, who created ISIS, who armed them, who trained them. They are the ones who should be blamed, not us. We are the ones who always suffers from the attacks. Why? Why we get killed?